Well, hello, everybody. My name is Blair Nicol with FranNet, and today we have a great special franchisor guest, David Grossman with Renue Systems. And we like to do these webinars and recordings every now and then because a lot of people ask, man, wouldn't it be great to talk to the CEOs and the founders of these franchising companies? And that's what we have today. And we have a franchisor that's very eager to come here to the Pacific Northwest since it's such a great market and it fits exactly what they're looking for. So that's why we have David on with Renue Systems. Good afternoon, David.
Hi, Blair. It's great to be here and great to be here with your team and possible people interested in our franchise opportunity.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here. Well, why don't we start off? Just can you tell us a little bit about Renue Systems?
Sure. Happy to do it. Renew is a fairly unique franchise opportunity. We started almost 35 years ago by a young individual based in Chicago who was looking to do something interesting and taught himself how to start cleaning carpets for homes and restaurants and frankly, whoever would pay him to do the work. And saw back then that it was not as easy as he may have thought. So if you think about it, we started out as a general cleaning company and just saw that there are hundreds of cleaning companies in almost any city. And in fact, the business has only gotten more competitive over the last 34 years since we started in 1991. So he decided to specialize and won a new customer, a small hotel. Ever since then, we've gone down that path of focusing heavily on the hospitality industry, the 4-star, 5-star, big branded hotels that were looking to us to help them in not only just their general cleaning, but really their specialized, we call it deep cleaning. So that's just a very wide range of services that not done every day, not general housekeeping or vacuuming, but the more challenging work. And we like this because we've gotten very good at it and developed a nice expertise and leadership position. So more specifically, the types of services that we do run almost anywhere inside and even outside a hotel, including carpets in the hallways or drapes and furniture in the guest room, tile and grout maybe in the bathrooms, or marble in the lobby, and then a lot of specialty needs like odors when a guest cooks or brings a pet. We can take care of even air conditioning units. Kitchens is a new service, which is catching on nicely. Chandeliers, escalators, you name it. We can pretty much take care of this. We know our customers well. We keep coming up with new solutions as they identify needs for them. So here are some pictures, and I promise these are real pictures of some of the work we've done before we've cleaned and after we've cleaned. And so you can see in almost every case, very dramatic. We tell our customers we can't always make it look exactly like new, but we can generally make it a lot better than the condition that it came from. So again, wide range of services that we handle for them. And they like that we can handle a lot of services so they can have one vendor partner who they trust and know will get the job done that can handle almost anything inside their property. So customers, it's pretty much a who's who in the hospitality industry, ranging from Marriott and Hilton and Hyatt and InterContinental and Best Western and others. All those, by the way, we're preferred vendor for. And then we do a lot of work for a number of other properties, independents, local hotels, big brands. So again, a wide range. And we don't limit ourselves to only hotels, but that's really the focus. So we do have some other customers, but the focus is the hospitality industry. So again, preferred vendor partnerships, we have pretty much all the ones available in the hotels. So we get a lot of work from these big brands. Why they come to us? There's a number of reasons, but a lot of it comes down to the quality we do. Not to say other companies can't do a good job, but we have not found anyone that day in and day out beats us on the quality. Also, the fact that we're very responsive to our customers, not to say it's a 24/7 business, but we know how hotels operate. We know their schedules sometimes change in short order, and we can roll with that. So the fact that we know hotels, the fact that we do great quality, the fact that we can handle almost any need they have, and the fact that all of our equipment, our chemicals, our training are designed for the unique needs and challenges of the hotel industry. And why it's challenging? Some of this may be obvious. Hotels, they don't shut down. It's not like going to an office building where we can go anytime after hours, clean, doesn't matter what our team looks like or how they're dressed, what type of equipment they wear or we use. We have to cater to the needs of our customers, the hotels. So we have to be very professional because we're always going to see their guests. Needless to say, the quality requirements are as high in a hotel as anywhere because when you go into a hotel, you pay a lot of money, you expect it to be clean. So there's just a lot of specific nuances to the hotel industry that if you're not familiar with it, make it very challenging. And certainly the hotels are very sensitive to the vendors they allow inside. So we've really proven ourselves in many cases, and we keep proving ourselves. And that's really given us a big leg up. Probably the three biggest values that we add to the hotels are, starting with one, is the increasing the asset life. So the studies have shown that a hotel spends $1 on a professional carpet cleaner, they can postpone by at least a couple of years replacing, say, their carpets, which is a 25-to-1 expenditure. So if we can buy a couple of years of life, that saves them a lot of money. And there have been a number of times where hotels were convinced they were going to have to replace the carpets or the drapes because they were so dirty. And we'd say, let's give it a try. And many times we can make a big improvement. Again, maybe not make it perfect, but make it a lot better and allow them to keep using those assets. Secondly, customer guest experience, shall we say. We definitely, in many cases, will increase the guest reviews. We've got data showing that. And so when people go onto TripAdvisor and see happier customers, they are more inclined to go to that hotel, and the hotel can charge more money. And you've probably, when you look at hotels, go online and see what reviews. And one of the biggest reviews, or criteria, I should say, is the cleanliness of the hotel. So hotels know they need to do that. And lastly, and this may be the least obvious, is the efficiency. Not that we're reckless, but just because we've been doing this so long, we've gotten not only good quality, but also very efficient. So we've measured ourselves where we can at least turn over 3 times, and often more than that, as many rooms as, say, maybe a couple of the hotels try to do the work themselves. And so that means they can rent the rooms out a lot more quickly because fewer of them are taken off limit. So all these really help their bottom line, both revenue and profitability. And clearly that's what hotels are looking for. We don't have to belabor this too much, but just showing there's a lot of differences in hotels and why they may look for a company that, like us, that is committed, is into forming relationships to really help them for the long term and knows what they're talking about. So turning to franchising geographically, we give out very large territories. It's typically 1 per major city, and we would rather deal with a higher quality franchisee team, franchisee individual, fewer of them that we will help train and support every step of the way to hopefully build a sizable business. So speaking in the Northwest, Blair, where you're located, we've got some nice territories available in Seattle area. Again, just 1 franchise for the entire Seattle metro area. And same thing with Portland, Oregon. So those are available. We have some other locations available in the U.S., but in the Northwest, those are 2 territories available. We have 27 franchises across the U.S. and have room for about 15 more in the bigger cities. And then we recently started expanding internationally. We are entering our 6th country as well. So not only have we known Renue plays in the U.S., but given the big brands that we deal with the international footprints of Marriott and Hilton and others, they're encouraging us to expand internationally. And when we do so, it increases the value of the entire brand of Renue, even in the U.S. So we're keen to keep expanding both in the U.S. and internationally. Just a little bit more information. Again, we give out big territories where there's the ability to build large businesses with our support. What I should say, though, is from a skill set perspective, we're looking for franchisees. They can be individuals, they can be spouses, partners, they can be 2 business partners. Any and all those combinations work. Do not need any cleaning experience or hotel experience. In fact, very few of our franchisees have any of that. We're just looking for people that we think have the right skill set, which is being able to manage a small team of blue-collar workers, and it will be a fairly small team, but yet focus a lot of your effort in building relationships with the hotel managers and doing that with our support. We open up a lot of the doors. So it's not cold calling, it's just building relationships. So again, managing a small team, but more importantly, it's the relationship-based sales. That's key. And then the second criteria is just fitting with our culture. We're a very collaborative group. We're not here to run your business. We're here to help you in whatever aspect we can in a servant leadership type model. Here's a list of some of our franchisees. You can see it's way across the board, running from people that know a little bit about the hotel world, but the vast majority don't. It's really just a wide range. And again, we think we can train people, work with people, if you more have the right personality and the skill set. So nearing the end here, we like to say we provide a lot of support. Operationally, not only do we teach you and your team how to do the work and answer any questions you have at any time, we're very good at that. We can provide additional training to you. When we come up with a new service, we're very good at training our teams how to do that. So that's important, but doesn't do much good to learn how to do the cleaning services if we don't have any customers. So we help a lot with sales, especially at the beginning, where we put together the database, say in Seattle, of all the hotels, and we start contacting the hotels on your behalf to introduce you. And we come out, it's typically myself, will visit in very early days, and we spend time meeting with customers. So you're comfortable doing it, but my team will do a lot of that heavy lifting, not only the beginning, but throughout the entire time. So it's very collaborative on that. And then business building, because we know our franchisees very well. They all have different strengths, different weaknesses. Some need maybe some more financial help about how to put together their income statements and what key metrics to look at. Others need a little more help on the marketing side. We help our franchisees sell their franchise when it's ready. So a wide range of assistance there. The details for starting up in the United States, according to our franchise disclosure document, the startup cost for this would include both Portland and also Seattle, ranges between $165,000 and $195,000. That's a pretty comprehensive number, including the franchise, including a significant amount of chemicals, equipment, supplies, as well as the training. And then the third-party costs, which are really just a van. It doesn't have to be a new van, but a fairly good condition commercial van. And then just a small storage facility that can be rented on a monthly basis. We don't need a big fancy office. Many of our franchisees, especially at the beginning, can work from a home office, and that's fine. And just hire one or two technicians. And if you don't have any in mind, that's fine. We'll help you find them. But really can start with as little as that and some working capital. So all that's in there. And that's a pretty comprehensive number. We have a good track record of finding financing through the Small Business Administration. If our franchisee candidates, yourself, have a good credit score, we can probably help you with that. And then our royalty is 10%, and that also includes a marketing fee, of which a portion goes back to our customers as a preferred vendor partner. So they're financially incentive. But altogether, that's 10% there. So that's a quick snapshot of the economics. A lot of reasons people like us. I will say, though, we validate very well. So if you are serious with us, you will have an opportunity to speak to really any and all of our existing franchisees, because we think that's important for you to know what you're getting yourselves into. We also want to get to know you well. So hopefully we can both make a good decision that it's a good fit for us. And we do have an item 19 in our franchise disclosure document, so that'll give you some financial information of our franchise system as well. So that's it. I'll leave it at that, Blair. And if you have any questions, I'm more than happy. I will just say here that I've got my contact information is here. Certainly work through Blair. We're very responsive to you. And I, as the head of the company, I'm very involved in this process, because to me, there's no better use of my time than interacting and getting to know the people, new potential franchisees like yourself, as well as our existing ones and our current employees.
Great. Thank you, David. That's a great review on Renue Systems. A couple questions for you. Can you describe the day-to-day of an owner? Because the owner's not doing the cleaning themselves, they're going to have employees do the cleaning. So what's kind of a day-to-day of an owner?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm glad you're asking that. So the beginning, the first few months would be different because we want our franchisee owner, and most of our franchisees are owner operators, to learn how to do the cleaning along with their first one or two technicians. And so you'll go through the initial 9-day training course and the first few projects, kind of get your hands dirty, so to speak, with your existing team. So you're feeling comfortable how to do the work. You're feeling comfortable they're doing the work. And importantly, you'll become more knowledgeable so you can speak with customers that they ask some more technical questions. So we want you to know how to do it. And then really step back after a few months and focus increasingly on interacting with hotel managers, both prospects as well as customers. So it's a combination of operations as well as relationship sales. Certainly after the first few months, the latter, the sales aspect and marketing aspect is more important. Of course, we teach you how to do this, but that's really it. So both are involved, but I would say after the first 3 or 4 or 5 months, it should be maybe 30% of the time in operations where it may go by, visit your team working, make sure everything's good, some quality assurance, which is also a good opportunity to talk to the hotel manager, maybe talk to them about additional work. Also stopping by the warehouse facility once a week, making sure everything's in order, maybe ordering some more chemical if needed, and doing scheduling. So that's maybe 30%, 10% administrative. It's a pretty simple business to run. We really work hard at that. It's invoicing, ordering, payroll, but there's not a lot to that. And then the rest is interacting with the customer, which would be visits, which would be putting together proposals, and also speaking with them through email, through phone calls, things like that to try to get additional work. So again, with our support. So I'd say 30% operations, very little should be actually getting your hands dirty after the first few months, 10% administrative, and the balance at least on the trying to grow the business.
So you're looking for somebody who wants a low initial investment. We consider low, kind of 200,000 or less, which you guys fall within that. Service-based. I would call this fairly recession resistant. I mean, hotels got to keep clean. I would say that it's AI resistant. That's a big buzzword these days. Somebody who wants low ongoing overhead because it can be home-based or office-based or light industrial-based, correct?
That's correct.
Gotcha. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the vast majority of the work is done during daytime hours.
That's right.
Okay. Any weekend hours?
There will be some weekend hours, but not a lot, and occasional nighttime hours, but again, not a lot. And that doesn't mean that our franchisee owners have to respond in the middle of the night or even nighttime, because if you're running the business right, if you get a project, and these are usually scheduled out, a few weeks in advance, that's over the weekend, you send your team to do it. It's not as if our franchisee has to view this as every weekend, every night, and every living moment. It's really not that type of business, because most of the work is done during the day, and most of the franchisee work is done during the day, during the weekday, because that's when the hotel managers are there.
Gotcha. And you are looking for one franchisee for Portland and one franchisee for Seattle, correct?
Yep. We're looking for high quality franchisees. That's right.
Yeah. So all it takes is one person and this opportunity is gone. Great. Thank you, David. Thanks so much for your time. Thank you to you and Renue. Always a pleasure talking to the head leaders of these companies. And if you have an interest in learning more about Renue, like David said, David and his company, they want us to kind of pre-screen, make sure it's a good initial match financially, skill set wise, what you're looking for in a business. So we'll help you get that done. And if we both feel that Renue is a good fit, we'll get you in contact directly with David. Other than that, thank you, David, for all your time today, and look forward to talking to you guys in the near future.
You bet. Thank you very much, Blair, and everyone for your attention.
You got it. Thank you.